Hey, Dustin here, Smoking Eagles Rod Shop with my brother Corey here.
Howdy.
And today we're going to be working on a 2013 Dodge Journey. It's a little different than the old school stuff we normally do, but hey, we always like helping you guys out and figured since we were fixing this alternator, we'd show you guys how to do it. So, here's the old vehicle here. Now, we've already pulled the alternator off because we wanted to make sure we got all the tools out and we could show you guys exactly what you need to do. So if you watch this video in reverse, the devil will not talk to you, I promise. You'll just learn how to change this alternator. So we had to pull the cover off the top of here. We've got it over here. That's pretty easy. It just pops right off of there. Now, to get this alternator out of here, we had to unplug this wiring plug here. Goes right in here. Don't know what it goes to. Doesn't even matter. We're just going to plug it back up. We got our drain hose here for your coolant overflow. It goes into the motor here. It's actually not a drain hose. It's just the fill hose. My bad. And then...
Sorry, Dodge.
Yeah, you got this radiator hose here. It goes from your radiator over to your engine. You have to completely remove that. There is a dust cover that goes on this inner fender here. You have to pull that. You also have to pull your wheel, and you have to take your serpentine belt loose. Now, we'll go over here and we'll show you what tools we used. So as you can see, we got our new alternator here. This is that dust cover that I was telling you about. We'll put that back on and show you how that goes on there. We needed a 3/8 breaker bar to pull that serpentine belt off. If you don't have a 3/8 breaker, you can use a 3/8 ratchet. It's just a lot nicer with a little more torque. We used a couple of flat screwdrivers, a Phillips screwdriver to break the coolant drain plug off. Ask me how I know. And we've got a 10mm socket, we've got a 13mm socket, and a 15mm socket. We use the 15mm socket to unhook the hot on the battery because you always want to have your battery disconnected. We got a 13mm ratchet wrench, but you could use a regular 13mm wrench. It made it easier to get the top two bolts out of the alternator. And we've got a pair of pliers here that we use to take the hose clamps loose on this radiator hose and the other coolant fill tank hose that we showed you just a minute ago. You're also going to need a 3/4 inch socket on an impact or a ratchet or something to pull your wheel off. So, one word of advice, do not break off your radiator drain plug because this is unobtainium. Thanks, Dodge. I actually got a bolt and put the O-ring onto this bolt. We're going to try and use this instead because, well, that's what they had in stock and that's what we could make work.
Smoking Eagles custom made right there.
Yeah, we do custom work as well. Now, these are the bolts and the clips that hold that plastic shroud on. Now, the big thing, and I'll show you how this alternator goes in here because it's a little tricky. It's kind of like a puzzle. She only goes in one way. All right, guys, so we got the alternator here. We're going to drop it right down in here. If I remember correctly, I think I pulled it out like this, but I'm not 100% certain. So you got to kind of get this wiring harness out of your way. Yep, there you go. Slide it right down in here.
That was so much easier
than taking it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, we had to figure out how to take it out to start with.
Yep.
So now we're going to hook our wiring back up. We got this big wire here, which is going to be your hot from your battery. And it's going to go on the big terminal. If I can get that washer off of there. Probably should have took that off before I shoved it down in there.
You live and learn.
Yep. Mistakes were made. Victory was achieved.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Working on a Dodge. It could be continued.
Join us next week when Journey gets the best of Dustin.
Right? All right, so this plug here, guys, you're going to want to just plug it right in. Obviously, to unplug this, it has this little red retainer clip. You just need to get a little flat screwdriver underneath here and just pop it up, and then that will allow you to depress this button and unplug it just like that. And then, obviously, to reconnect it, you plug it in, and as you can see, when that goes in, it won't allow you to press on this and unhook it anymore. So now we're going to tighten this up, and this was that 13mm wrench.
hear that? Progress.
It's the sound of victory. So that's tight. Now this has a little plastic cover, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it slid down.
Did it slide up it? There it is.
Yep, there it is.
So this should swing around. And it has little clips on the side of it. I'm not sure exactly how they clip on, but I know I unclipped them.
Yeah, because you, yep.
Gotta find the perfect angle.
Hit that out of there.
Yeah. I think I've seen somebody else struggle with this before. Nope. It was just me.
That.
It clipped on one side. Come on, baby.
There it is.
There she be, maybe. Think it's on there? Just when you think you've gotten it, you didn't. I think the plastic's just sprung on this one side, so it don't really want to clip too well. We'll give it new life. There we go. Perfect. We're going to call that good enough. Now this slides right up in here. And I've never had to line one of these up before. Now, there's only 3 bolts for this alternator, and all 3 of them are the same length, so you don't have to worry about trying to remember which one goes where. Except you do have to worry about lining it up. So let's see if I can pull this off, guys. Is that it? Nope, I missed. This is gonna be the trickiest part of this job. Oh, our clip popped off again.
Now, dagnabbit.
That thing's just not gonna want to cooperate. Might just put a zip tie around that. Dramatic pause.
Dramatic sound.
Perfect. Yeah, they're kind of at an angle, and they're kind of back up in here. Don't break stuff!
We're already past that part.
Again. Oh, yeah. Don't break anything else today. I knew that was gonna happen. I did that.
That was just factory.
I did that for the camera.
You gotta have sound effects.
For dramatic effect.
You gotta win them Oscars.
That's right. It's going in real easy. So we know we didn't screw that one up. Luckily, I got an extra bolt.
It came factory.
Yeah. So now I'm guessing this is going to need to wiggle up just a little bit. And that one started. That one that fell down on the bottom, that's because it's the bottom bolt.
It's probably. He's like, I'm going home.
Now I recommend you don't tighten all the bolts. You kind of, get them all close until you get them all in, and then you can snug them all down. Now I've got to go deep sea diving and find that bolt that decided to exit through the bottom. Oh yeah, it's way up under there, isn't it? That thing ran away.
The lucky trusty magneto.
Yup.
Aha!
Luckily, I got my scorpion. Get over here. Doesn't get much goofier than that.
Oh, I see where you're talking about now, where that hole is.
Yep, so this bolt goes right here, guys. And you don't have to just get it from the top, because actually when we tore this alternator off, I had a swivel and a socket, and I got it through this fender well down here.
Some may say you cheated.
Maybe. I wouldn't say it was easier though, because look, with that hose, radiator hose out of the way, you can just reach right down in here. You can get to everything you need to. No big deal. I wonder what the dude you're getting a Dell guy's doing today. Whatever happened to that guy? You remember them commercials?
Yeah. He probably retired.
I don't know.
He probably had to have an update.
He's probably my age, because I think he was roughly my age when them commercials were out. Remember, he was a younger guy.
Yeah, I do.
He's like, dude, you're getting a Dell. What happened to those commercials? They need to bring those back.
What are commercials?
My videos aren't cool enough to have any, so I'm sure you guys don't know.
Hey, Dell, if you're out there.
We're looking for sponsors.
Oh, Lord.
Are you mining crypto? No, that's my editing software. I screw up a lot. Okay, so we got that on there. Now, I'm not gonna put any of this other crap on. I'm gonna put the serpentine belt back on first, because I think that's gonna be a lot easier to get to and make sure our belt is on here correctly. So let's run this thing up in the air and just a little bit so I can get down to the bottom side, and then we'll toss this belt back on. All right, guys, so we got this up in the air. I know not everybody has a lift, but if you're doing this on the ground, this is gonna give you the best view of kind of how we did this. So what I did is I lined up all my pulleys except for the water pump pulley, and I had the belt here in my hand because the edge of this water pump pulley is radiused and it's a smooth pulley. And then I used my breaker bar, I pulled the tensioner pulley back, and then I just worked that belt right up over top of that water pump pulley, and it slid right on, and then we could take this off and we're good to go. Now, if you try to do one of these grooved pulleys, it's gonna try and fight you. It was fighting me a little bit. It just doesn't quite wanna go on there, and they've all got lips on them, so the belt isn't quite long enough to get over those lips easily. So that's why I chose to use the water pump pulley and just slide it on there. So now all we've gotta do is put our plastic cover back on here. We'll show you how that goes. All right, guys, so we gotta put these clips back on here. The way these work is the nuts on the backside, and these slide up on your hole like that. It's the way they're supposed to work anyway. These were actually jammed onto the backside like nuts and didn't work right, so it took us a while to get them off. This one doesn't actually want to fit, so that's probably why the last guy did that. Need to tap that with a hammer. This one fits up here pretty good, just like so. And that's what this one's supposed to do.
A little love tap with a persuader.
Yeah, might have to. There, I think I can see the threads. Like that. Now you've got this panel. Just goes up in here like this. That's all that does. Is that the right direction? I think it goes this a ways. There we go. That looks a little bit better.
Looks a lot better.
Put our bolts in. Just got to get her started. Right, like so. There's the other one. And then there's a little plastic push clip that goes right here.
Right here.
And if your push clip breaks or you don't have one, you can either put a bolt and a nut through there, or you can go to any part store and get those little clips. Even Harbor Freight sells little multi-packs of those little plastic clips to get you through. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so since I broke the unobtainium, I had to come up with a solution. I think I've got one. Not sure yet because we haven't ran this thing up to temp yet, but definitely we'll let you know if it fails. All I did is we've got a bolt here. It's a M10 1.5 by 20 millimeters. And it's the correct thread for this radiator. And then the length, I needed to cut just a little bit off, so we shaved just a little bit off of the length, and we used the washer that was with the original drain plug. We put that washer on. I had a big fat O-ring, slid that over top with our washer, and then we snugged it up, and I'll show you what it looks like. So we've got it tightened right up in here, and that O-ring right up inside there like it's supposed to, and it should be sealed up. I think that's a good fix. Just because the local parts stores don't carry this, we're still gonna go online, we'll find one, we'll get it ordered, and we'll swap it out and make it right. But for now, this should get us by. All right, guys, so we got the coolant plug in the radiator down below, so we just need to button this stuff up here. Now, we did have to unplug this. It made it a little easier getting that alternator out of there. So we're gonna plug this back in. I know that's where it goes because it's got a pink line.
Made it easy for the other guy.
Oh yeah. So we need to put this top radiator hose back on. So let me grab that. I believe it goes on this direction. And this is going to swivel around here. And plug right onto here. Now we just need our handy dandy pliers. So now we need this top one. This hose goes right across here. Plugs right into this. And I need those pliers back.
Check them back out.
Yep. Here we go. That's on there good.
Yep.
So that's technically all you have to do to change your alternator. Now we just need to mix up some coolant. We'll toss it in there. And instead of starting this thing up and seeing if our plug leaks, we're actually gonna throw my coolant pressure tester on there. We'll pump this up to pressure and we'll look for leaks. That way I don't get any more antifreeze in my mouth because it just don't taste good. Quick little tip for you guys. This is kind of how I do this. I don't know if it's really a tip necessarily, but I always buy the concentrate because I don't like paying for water that I get out of the ground for free. And then I take an old empty antifreeze jug and you just pour half of it out of your full concentrate into the empty. And now we just fill this up the rest of the way with water, this the rest of the way with water, and now we've got 2 gallons of 50-50 mix, exactly the way they want you to. And well, given the price today, we saved $4. So. All right, guys, so we dumped coolant in this bad boy. We pressure tested it with my coolant pressure kit just to make sure that our temporary fix on the radiator down there actually worked, and it did. We brought it up to temp, made sure we had heat and all the air was out of the system. We also tossed the voltmeter on there and double checked and made sure that the new alternator was in fact charging. If you don't know how that works, basically with your car off, you should have roughly 12.5 volts on your battery, and with it running, you should have just over 14 volts. That's your alternator charging your battery to make up for, you know, your big screen TV, your surround sound stereo, your 14 USB plugs that are charging your laptop, your cell phone,
Your butt flap warmer.
Yeah, and your butt warmer. And I hope this video was helpful for you guys. This really isn't that bad of a job. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Obviously, having a lift makes it a little easier on us, but you could do this in your driveway with a jack stand and
While it's snowing on you.
yeah, yeah.
Any of you that do that, hats off to you.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in a gravel driveway, buddy. I'm telling you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends. Make sure you check out his Facebook page.
Ruthless Hustle.
I'll put a link down in the description for those guys. Kick-ass band. It'll give you some jams to listen to. And yeah, I'll post some other stuff that we do around my melon here and his melon too. And if any of that piques your interest, make sure you go check it out. I think that's gonna.
I think that's it, brother.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, till next time, keep on wrenching. Peace.